Now, here's the second part. This is afterwards. He goes to his bookstore and is walking home from work. Human emotions are a strange and perplexing thing. How is it that after you've broken up with the love of your lifetime, you know the kind, absolutely everything reminds you of that person? Suddenly every single song you hear becomes a lament to your heart, your lost love, and all the stacks of poetry books you earn transform into an infinite abyss of images and text which pull at the leather bindings of your novelist's soul. The slightest smell alluding to a perfume or cologne just sends your senses reeling. We've all had a lot of those, no? Every love is a first love, technically. Well, such is the case with the walk back to the path. A Bath and Body Works down the block, the smell of honeysuckle and melon, while the music store across the street tunes is blasting Springsteen. I pass by a Blockbuster Video as Batman peers back at me from the store window. Daniela walks down the street, the other side, holding hands with a suave, 30-ish, slick-haired man in a suit wearing sunglasses and... Wait, what? I duck behind a bright new Volkswagen Bug, shining yellow like one of those Pikachu Pokemon. I peer over the trunk, watching Daniela and Suit walk down the street, laughing and smiling. And yes, Suit is his name as far as I'm concerned. They walk into a Starbucks on the side street off of Washington, about 2 blocks away from the train station. This isn't just any Starbucks. Back when I was still writing, this was a place I would frequent with my laptop, furiously typing away while sipping on a large hot chocolate, although I'm perfectly aware it's actually a large or a grande or a tall or hell, a fucking gargantuan for all I care. The point is, it was a decent-sized cup, and Daniela and I used to come here. She drank hazelnut coffee. So like any loser, I stalked them over to the Starbucks. They were sitting together at a table towards the large plate glass window that overlooked the street, which I was now peering into. A twang of pain shoots through me as I realize they're sitting at our table. Our table! No one else is allowed to sit there, and if they did, they needed special written consent from me. I couldn't take it any longer. I walked in and I sat on the opposite side of the coffee shop, lifting an abandoned newspaper to cover my occasionally peering over face, to see Daniela and Suit laughing and smiling. Daniela, the young lady serving the beverages, called out. Daniela gets up, but not without giving Suit a ever so small moment, this glance. Like, this small moment of leaving him to pick up her coffee was a horrible ordeal. Pretend pout was a lament to how far away they would be from one another, and he made an equally sad face, like a small puppy saying goodbye to his human companion that was now leaving. I think I just threw up in my mouth. French vanilla, the young woman behind the counter asks. Daniela smiles, nods, and takes the coffee. She sits back down. Her and Suit nuzzle up. However, this isn't what's bothering me. It's the French vanilla. Daniela hates French vanilla. She always gets hazelnut and sometimes a caramel hot chocolate. She lives in a world completely devoid of any trace of French vanilla. The words can never be found together in her vocabulary. Sure, apart, they have meaning, but not together. French is a language, but more importantly, it's her favorite form of kissing. And vanilla is a flavor, yeah, but more importantly, it's the color of her favorite dress. Together, though, French vanilla is nothing but a gibberish to her ears, an inaudible jumble of words. But there it was. Coffee cup with FV carelessly scribbled, scrawled, poorly etched on the side of the cardboard sleeve. Irrefutable proof. Richard, the gal at the coffee shop calls out. Suddenly, Suit has a name. Richard. Rich. Dick! She's with the Dick! I scoff and roll my eyes behind my newspaper shield, which only slightly reveals my face from time to time as I peer over to watch the happenings. Dick. I bet he hates being called that by his Wall Street buddies. Him in his suit, his expensive Armani tie and Kenneth Cole shoes, listening to his iPod, nay, his Microsoft Zune, filled with horrible music, a non-stop mix of Wham and a Nixus. I watch him walk over. Green tea with almond biscotti? The woman behind the counter asks, pushing his drink and cookie across the counter. The Dick smiles and says thank you, taking his tea and cookie, which doesn't go with tea, it's a compliment to coffee, you ass, and walks back over to Daniela. Did you miss me? He asked in an annoying little voice, placing his drink and inappropriate cookie on the table. Oh, so much, Daniela squealed, inching over and snuggling into him as he sat down. So that was it. There was someone else. Why couldn't she just say so instead of leaving me in such an intense, this is all your damn fault sort of way? I poke a small hole through the newspaper, which I haven't read a word of yet, so I can see through to their table without having to peer over the paper. I see her smile, bright white despite the habitual coffee drinking, and I move my tongue over the front of my teeth, suddenly self-conscious. I glance back down to check the time, and when I look back up again, a shade of green is blocking my view. I look up to see a Starbucks employee standing in front of me, arms on her hips, annoyed. "Sir, you're going to need to order something if you're going to be here." I see her glance at the hole in the paper and then across at Daniela and the Dick, reading your newspaper. She was on to me. I peek through the hole. Danielle and the Dick are looking over along with the rest of the cafe on the end of the room, their attention focused on the small conflict occurring on the opposite side. "Did you hear me?" She places her hand down on the newspaper shield, crumpling the paper. I jump up and Daniela stands up abruptly, mouth opening, eyes widening. The Dick looks over at her and me, concerned, unsure of what is happening. Her eyes and mine stay fixed for but a moment. Yes, I'm sorry," I said to the woman who busted my operation. I was just leaving." I walked out, my eyes fixated on Daniela. She didn't move and her face showed no real sign of emotion as I left, but her eyes followed me as I rushed out the door. I could practically hear Sinatra singing Summer Wind as I hurried out into Hoboken's cold summer breeze. I walked towards the pass station, torturing myself with sort of conversation Danielle and the Dick were having. Act 1, Scene 1. Daniela: "Listen, I have to explain something to you. That was my..." Dick: "Shh." He places a finger on her quivering lips. "Don't talk. Let's leave this place. We'll stay in my summer home in the Cascades, live off the millions I've made in the stock market, and make love underneath the stars every night." Daniela: "Oh, Richard, take me now." They toss their coffee cups off the table and make love passionately in front of the customers in the cafe, who respond with a thunder of applause. Act 1, Scene 1, Second draft. Daniela: I can't do this anymore. I belong with Andrew. I'm so sorry, Richard." Dick: "It's okay. I could sense it the moment he stood up. It was as if time had stopped that very moment when your eyes met. I could feel his charm, allure, and his godlike status in bed to which I will never be able to compare. So I will leave you now. So go get him." Act 1, Scene 1, Final draft. Dick: "I'm attracted to small children." However, Daniela never did come running after me, and the Dick never did confess his love for little kids. These scenarios and dozens more that involved various acts of violence against the Dick from myself and friends played over and over again as I rode the rail cars back to 14th and 6th, defeated and downtrodden. But he wasn't the problem, and Daniela wasn't the problem. I think I was. Somewhere I lost her. Somewhere along the way, she started to like French vanilla, and I failed to notice. And that's it.
An announcement for all the other readers tonight: you must make at least one Dick reference. We have one. Yes, okay, good.